can't be tamed.
What have I told you about showing me movies at 3 o'clock in the morning?
A zoo,
I wake up in 5 hours.
You ruined the intro.
I don't care.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Charming Analysis podcast. I'm Mari.
I'm Jay.
Season 7, baby! Season 7! What?
Nothing.
I'm not allowed to celebrate?
No.
Bonk you on the head. Blink. Anyway, as you can tell by the intro, we're starting our Season 7 podcast. And without further ado, our first video for it is going to be us talking about Zootopia and Zootopia 2.
Yep.
Because I have been wanting to see Zootopia 2 for, literally the last, couple months. I've been wanting to see it. Mm-hmm. And since Bean didn't get to go with me to the theaters to see it, I decided once they came out, we were going to do both movies. So, yeah. This is a podcast I personally have been wanting to do for a while. And we finally made it happen.
Yep.
But yeah, so first up, we're going to talk about the original Zootopia movie, which came out in 2016.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, it is officially 10 years old. Isn't that crazy?
I feel like my time is passing by, and here I am. Still not doing doo-doo. That's how I see it.
Oh my goodness. So why don't you explain what Zootopia is about, honey? Take it away.
It's a world filled with anthropomorphic animals. They all live they all congregate in a city. It's Zootopia, and there's this one animal who's a rabbit. Judy Hopps, who wants to be a cop, and she transfers to their department, and it's a big conspiracy about predators and prey. She teams up with a fox named Nick to solve it. I'm terrible at exterminating plots. I'm trying really hard to just explain this without going into my sarcastic retelling of it.
Do you want me to explain it, or?
No, I think I did it.
But yeah, so, fun fact, this movie specifically is one of my favorite Disney movies, personally. I actually really like Zootopia quite a bit.
And it's not one of my favorite Disney movies.
I get it. But I personally like it. I think it has a lot of good stuff in it. Mm-hmm. And I also think it deserves a lot of world building. Mm-hmm. Because you're literally having all kinds of animals in all different areas and walks of life in a bunch of different settings. But they all can come together in Zootopia and kind of be part of one giant society. One melting pot of different colors. And shapes and sizes. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we need to give more credit to where it's due. They're doing a lot for these movies. But there is stuff that can be improved on, which we will get into. Fun fact as well, do you want to know how much the budget was for the first Zootopia?
$100 million.
$150 million to be exact. You were actually close.
Okay, that was not close.
Kind of close.
That was not close.
But it did earn $1 billion worldwide.
I could have, okay. Don't guess $100 million. Don't guess 100.
So
yeah, I should not, especially when it comes to Disney and Pixar. Never guess 100 million. Always guess around 200 million. Always guess that, because our films are always super uber duper over budget for some reason. Anyway.
So, what did you think of Zootopia? Because personally, I love Zootopia. It's one of my favorite Disney movies.
It has
in the modern era. It's one of my favorite modern era Disney movies.
It has aged very weirdly for me.
Really?
Yes.
Define weirdly.
Because I think the only things that really gonna really hold up with the first one is the world building and the animation that they put into
the movies.
The animation that they put into the like, what is it? The character animation that they put into these movies. At least for first one, holds up for me. The world building holds up for me. I like it. And yeah, like, it's weird because when you're a kid watching these movies and you're like, they say a message that like people like, oh my god, it's so, it's so subversive. It's one of the first things to say it, and this becoming like, super popular and all of this stuff. And then you have that expectation when you're a kid. You're like, oh my god, this is all great. And some people tend to like remember it as that nostalgic type of thing that they saw as a kid and saying, yeah, it holds up. There's very few people who actually will watch stuff again and will critique it as maybe this doesn't hold up anymore, and that's how I feel about the first one. I think it has good animation. I think that it has good world building to it. Everything else,
You could take it or leave it, I guess.
Everything else is just okay, or just aged poorly.
Because don't forget, this did come out.
I know it came out in 2016, and I know when the world went to shit. So,
pretty much, the world kind of went to shit that year. I just realized you have a random chip, like right there.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to put that in the trash.
But I guess it's just weird to me. It's just really, really weird to me that that the movie, like, I get what it's trying to say, and I get that it probably had no ill intentions. It was just the timing, and now that everything that has happened beforehand, and now to see this now, especially as a like, if you're saying this to kids, especially, and you're saying it as like I guess
lesson.
It's not a lesson, really. It's like, it's more of like, this is how the world works type stories, but you're presenting it in like a kid. You're presenting it in a way that a kid could quote unquote understand it. But I think it's a very idealized version of this. It's in like one of those perfect world scenarios where you really got to talk to your kid and it's one of those movies where you show them the fictional world, and then afterwards you sit down and you have a talk with that kid saying, this is not how everything works. That is a fictional movie. That is a fictional movie where none of this is like, going to be solved within like the day. Nothing
it takes
like
time.
this. Nothing. Even if the movie is like, oh, we're not gonna, like, even though if the movie is like, oh no, it isn't all sunshine and rainbows, you kind of are presenting an idealized version of it that is, I don't know if that's a good, quote unquote, like, lesson. I don't know if that's a good, quote unquote, life lesson to teach to kids. I think you really need to sit down and have a conversation afterwards of like, hey, maybe, maybe this movie of getting the predator and prey aspect right as for like, speaking in terms of racism, maybe that's a little bit iffy now, considering that the hero, the quote unquote hero, is a cop, and like, we're portraying the predators this way. Like, I think it would have maybe been better if like they tweaked the original drafts, and they
But for
told
those,
it from
can I mention something?
from another perspective, as opposed to a cop story.
Yeah,
I don't think that has aged. I don't think that's aged well. I don't think the dialogue has aged great at all.
And
I think the whole we're gonna use euphemisms for racism, or we're gonna use it for, what is it called? It's not slurs. It's intolerant language.
Stereotypes.
Yeah, we're gonna use words that are gonna be the subversive of the stereotypes, but we're doing it with animals instead of humans. And I'm I don't think that racism should be covered, quote unquote, with animals, because that's an iffy tightrope. I'm not gonna want to go down. I don't want to go down. If you want to talk about racism, you gotta talk about it with humans. There's plenty of media for kids that talk about racism that have human characters. And I'm not saying that it can't be done with animals, because there's also stuff where it has been done with animals and it's been done well. I'm just saying, with the dialogue of literally pointing it out every 5 seconds is very irritating.
And I can understand the aspects of where you're coming from when it comes to
it's very
those arguments. I can understand those aspects.
It's very irritating, and it makes it a good 70% of the dialogue in the first one. And I don't want to watch. The rewatchability of that just tanks it. It tanks it, because I know what it's saying. I know what you're trying to say. It's just, it's not speaking to me. It's being a message before it's being any type of entertainment that I'm willing to rewatch over and over again.
And I can also understand that as well. I understand the message, and the way that they're trying to present said message is a bit skewed. They could have still made the movie, but not even have to include race as an aspect to it. But then again, this came out at a time where, unfortunately,
it would have been better as a class message.
Yeah.
Because it seems if people want to tell a story with animals, it's either got to be about race or class, or whatever,
something in between.
It has to be something. And I'm can
we just have a fun?
Can we have a fun animal movie? Where these these things get a. I would have been fine if it was a detective
movie,
a detective movie,
a buddy cop movie
with animals. That's fine. I mean, I don't know. I know we only watched one season of Beastars, but it had much more than just the, quote unquote. It wasn't really about
We should eventually go back to Beastars.
I don't know.
I wouldn't mind.
When I'm watching about Beastars, it's just the world. I guess the world building in that had more of a point of them talking about. I guess it was more of a biological sense, because I guess they were still eating each other. Let me just say that.
I don't know. Maybe one day we'll eventually talk about Beastars again.
But there's ways of talking about this stuff without it being about, I guess, racism. What? I guess why would you go there? Especially when these are animals that used to actually eat, quote unquote, be predators and prey, actually be savages, a long time ago. And I'm and it's you can't relate that to humans, because most humans in the history of ever did not eat each other, and did not were not most humans didn't have a biological reason to hate each other. That's that's why it's just such a slippery slope when it comes to talking about stuff like this. Either you make it a world where where they were always anthropomorphic and stuff like that. They were always like that, and you didn't have to associate biology with whatever race you were talking about that day. Or you could have done it like, maybe they were, maybe they're more civilized, but you could have made it like a different issue than that. I don't know. It just makes for a very uncomfortable time. It makes for some very uncomfortable situations, okay? So, like, do you see what I'm saying?
Like, I understand, honey.
Do you see? It's also propaganda in a way, because it's like...
This came out at a time where the Black Lives Matter movement was, like, at its peak.
Yeah,
and also, like, cop
helping.
brutality.
It wasn't helping. It's like...
It did not. I will agree, though. It did not help with that.
It's like, but you're supposed to say, like, there's good cops, too. I'm like... In a perfect world, there would be, like you're trying to do in Zootopia. That's why you have to sit down with your kids after the movie and be like, yeah, there probably aren't... That probably isn't the best. That's not what cops are. Like, you gotta actually sit down with your kid and say that there's no cop that's gonna be like Judy Hopps. And if there is a cop like Judy Hopps, then just don't, then you probably shouldn't associate. Like, you gotta talk to the kids about this stuff like this, I guess. And that's why it's so much harder for me to digest as an actual, like, movie, per se. Because the only thing I can say about it as a movie is that I think that the animation and the world building, like, of the actual, like, structure of the city and stuff is good. I think those things are good.
You just gotta work on the story.
But other than that, I can't look past that. I can't look past the story. I don't think the characters, like, even when they're not talking about the message, like, I don't think that they're, quote unquote, like, all that memorable, per se. I don't find it entertaining, per se. Like, even if it's like a big, furry thing, it's just not the best furry media I've seen.
Yeah.
Like,
as a furry movie, because here's the thing, like, for the record, I technically am a furry. Jay kind of got into the furry thing, like, when we got together, because I have Fursona.
And they drew me as Fursona.
Yeah. But personally, to me, I don't see this as just a furry movie. I also see this as an interesting premise. Do I think it has the best execution? No. When it comes to, like, at least the plot or, like, some of the themes in it. But I watch it more for, like, the lore and, like, the actual world building, personally. At least for me. That's what I see out of this movie. I do think the characters are good. I do like Nick and Judy's, like, arc in the first movie. I think them trying to basically solve a mystery and them finding out that it was a prey animal that was doing the whole thing is kind of interesting. I think it's an interesting premise. And minus the themes that we somehow have in this, I do still think this is a good movie. I also love the character designs. I feel like they did all kinds of different interesting animals for the first one and stuff. One of my a couple favorite designs besides Nick and Judy, I do think Bellwether has a really cute design. I like her as a villain, and I like her as a character. I think she's interesting. And I like that she's trying to basically prove that she can take over the world in her own way and kind of prove to people that prey animals are more than what they seem. Mm-hmm. But I don't feel like she could have been a villain if she did that, though. I feel like she could have proved it a different way. But putting her as the villain, I can kind of understand, at least in the aspects that we're talking about, where like prey animals are kind of like at the bottom of the food chain kind of deal. Mm. And she's just trying to prove that they're just as good as the people at the top. Which I get. I get that. So I got questions for you. Are you okay? Mm-hmm. We're still getting over our sick, as you guys can obviously tell. So I guess, besides the fact that you don't like a lot of the themes in it, which I understand, it's a very slippery slope to kind of go down in. I do want to ask, though, what are some things besides the world building and, like, the designs of everything that you do like about this movie? Like, is there anything that you do like about it, despite the slippery slope that they're trying to go down when it comes to the quote-unquote propaganda? Like, do you looking past that, do you at least have, like, the journey of the characters?
I don't think I can. Because it all just kind of just all goes back to that message. It is very rootly. If, like the dialogue is almost always talking about it. And, like, it's very rootly in it. So, I don't think I can. I really don't think I can. Because
do you think this movie
are always talking about it, and
okay,
it is crazy the amount of, like, wow, it, like, go looking, like just, watching it again, it's crazy how much it actually is just a spokesperson for the message when there's not really as much quote-unquote
message
character moments in it that I would go back and watch, like, at all. That's how much of an impact that this movie does make with me without the message.
Okay. Do you feel... Okay, so for those who don't know, one of the original concepts of Zootopia a long time ago, if you, like, have seen, like... if you've seen, like, kind of the behind the scenes of, like, original storyboards that they did, they were basically supposed to make, like, all the prey... Like, the predators, they were basically giving them, like, the collars, like, shock collars and stuff, and, you know, the face... The muzzles, kind of like when Nick was going through that one scene in the movie. Mm-hmm. That was kind of like their original, like, premise of it. Kind of deal. Something like that. I don't know the exact thing, but I know they were talking about it. Mm-hmm. Why are you putting
nothing? I'm just... Nothing.
Oh, you're just adding something to your list?
Yep.
Okay, because I was about to be like, honey, we're doing a podcast. You can watch it later. Anyway, do you feel like if they had went with that premise instead of what we got, do you feel like the movie would have been better? I want your honest opinion.
Probably.
Because I can definitely see that being a good movie as well. I feel like both would have been good movies. I feel like they could have done a little bit better with the current movie. I feel like they could have done better. Like, not focus on much on the cop stuff and kind of make it like a balance of the two kind of deal. Mm-hmm. But I do agree with you on the aspects of it and that kind of thing, but I still feel like it is a good movie. I didn't focus too much on the cop stuff. I mainly kind of focused on, like, how Nick and Judy were kind of just, like, getting through the mystery kind of deal. Because that's kind of what I focused on personally with it. And I do think the story is good. I think the story is good, but I will admit they kind of overkilled a bit with the propaganda shit. I definitely agree on that. Other than that, do you have anything else to say about Zootopia? Sorry.
I do not think so.
So what do you give Zootopia out of 10? I would personally give Zootopia a 7.5. I still think it's a good movie. Lessons could have been a bit better. Don't remove that from my list.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm just...
I was going to say, like... messages aside, I still think this is a good movie. I don't really have any complaints with it, other than the fact that I do wish we got to have... I wish there wasn't such a big gap between the first movie and the second. I feel like they could have done, like, more with it. Mm-hmm. Like, we could have had... Not exactly after what happened, but they could have, like... It took place, like, a couple years later or something. Or, heck, give us another, like, mini-series just about the two of them, like, learning how to deal with each other, I guess. You know what I mean? Because they did do, like, a Zootopia mini-series called Zootopia Plus, which we did watch.
Which was fine.
Which was, like,
just mainly gag stuff that was, like, okay. But I didn't really find it anything other than, like...
And the other thing is, Nick and Judy aren't even in it, which is kind of sad. Like, everyone else is pretty much in it, I think, except for, like, a couple characters. Which is kind of sad if you think about it, but we're not really going to be touching on the miniseries just because we saw it so long ago, and also it really has nothing to do with the movies, sadly. I wish they could have done some stuff, like, with that, but whatever. I give it a 7.5. I still think it's a decent movie. It's like one of my favorites, though. What about you?
I mean, the only thing I really have going for it is the animation. But, like, I don't give high points because your animation is good from one of the best animated studios.
Like, we get that already, honey. Yeah. We already know that.
So if it doesn't have anything much to offer me other than that, I give it a 4.
You give it a 4?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, now without further ado, we're going to talk about Zootopia 2. For the record, it was almost 2 hours. I actually looked it up.
God damn.
But, anyway, so, while Zootopia came out in 2016, Zootopia 2 basically came out last year. Very end of last year. So, like, November-ish kind of deal. So, it's been, like, 2 months since it came out. Because I've been wanting to see it for a while. We were originally going to do it, like, end of last year, but we never ended up doing it. That's why we're doing it now. Before I say anything about Zootopia 2, we're going to talk about the budget really quick. So apparently the budget for Zootopia 2 was a mix between $150 million to $250 million. Is what I've been able to look up about it, because apparently...
They don't give, like, right budgets. Even the budget you're looking at right now, like, for any movie, like, it has to, unless it depends on what distributors are and how, like, they make their money back. Because most go to streaming, and the theater is, like... It used to be, like, theater, you had to make, like, 2 or 3 times your budget. Now everything's on streaming, so you don't even know if anything's a hit anymore. Unless people are, like, talking about it. So, yeah, that, like, it's like, that is just, damn.
Anyway.
That's just weird.
Anyway, before, I wanted to say that at least, so that way you guys kind of understand what we're getting into when it comes to Zootopia 2. So, I will explain what the second one's about. So, basically, Zootopia 2 is about Judy and Nick trying to prove that they are a good team. After the success of the first movie, basically they're trying to prove that they get along well to be in a team with each other, because they both have issues trying to, I guess, cooperate with each other. Mm-hmm. I guess is the best way to put it. So this literally takes place either right after the first movie or a little bit after kind of deal. I don't know how long it's been, but they briefly mention, like, the first movie after it. So basically, they're trying to prove that they can be a team with each other while trying to solve a case about where the fuck all the reptiles went. Because some people probably are wondering, why is there no reptiles in Zootopia? Like, where the fuck are they? Well, this movie kind of goes into where the fuck they went. That's basically what this movie is. You're basically having Nick and Judy try to work as a team while trying to figure out where the fuck all the reptiles went. Is the gist of what this movie is about. So, personally going into this, I have high hopes for it. I genuinely had high hopes for this movie because I liked the first Zootopia. And I was curious about that with the first movie. Like, where the fuck is, like, the reptiles, the birds? I don't know. I know there's no humans in this universe, but that would be kind of interesting if they did talk about it. So, the fact that we actually get a movie where they discuss where the fuck the reptiles went was kind of nice. I'm happy we actually... I liked how they did the reptiles in this movie. They basically had, like, a marshland area. I don't know exactly where, but I'm assuming it's, like, south of Zootopia? I'm assuming it's south because it's warmer, so we're going to assume it's south of it for the sake of it. And the fact that you have a snake who's just trying to basically get his family, like, back to where they were before. Kind of deal. And there's these lynxes that are basically, I guess, billionaires? In a sense, kind of like the billionaire aspect with the poor people kind of deal. While the first movie kind of did more like race-ish deal, I guess, this one's kind of more of a classism thing. Which, execution-wise, I feel like this did so much better with the execution. Like, the classism thing I thought was interesting. A good take on it. I feel like they did a good take on this compared to the first movie. First off, the Lynx's character designs were honestly really nice. I loved their designs so much. I also liked the fact that we got a snake in this. And even though he's not in the whole movie, I do like him. I do like Gary. I wish he was a little bit more involved in the movie, though. Because we don't get him until, like, I think a fourth of the way through is when we get him, right? I feel like if they had introduced him, like, a little bit sooner, I feel like it would have been a bit better. Personally. But I genuinely did like this movie, though. I liked the fact that Nick and Judy are desperately trying so hard to stay as a team. I like that a lot. I feel like they could have included the snake as well, but they should have included him a bit sooner than when they did. I'm still not over the thing about Paubert, though. Fuck! I'm still not over that. I'm probably not going to get over that for a bit. Anyway, what did you think of Zootopia 2, honey? I'm genuinely curious what you thought about it.
I think it's better because it's not a full-on, like,
propaganda shit
story. But I still think it's okay. I don't know. It's kind of like the Inside. It's a little bit better than the Inside Out duology, but I'm not gonna go singing its praises. They're just okay movies to me.
Okay.
And I think it's just because I just don't really click with the main characters.
Judy and Nick.
Yeah, I don't really click with them. I don't think that the dialogue is anything like special. The animation is like, again, it's really, really good.
And also
but
Disney.
I expect good
from Disney.
I expect good animation from almost every studio now. Like, that's just a standard. Like, mostly everyone has great animation. So that's just standard for anything. But I just find it to be like, a little bit nothing, like, I just find it a little bit like, nothing all that, I guess, special when it comes to like just anything else that I can get from, like, I don't know, so anything else that I could get from like quote unquote detective stories or like buddy films, or what else the other genre that they do, like world building stuff. Like, it's kind of like like I can go and find other stuff that does that way better, and I don't think that this is doing anything all that different.
Can we at least admit
I feel
that
like I'm gonna. I
wait.
feel like I'm kind of gonna forget about watching this movie within like a week. It's one of those movies.
I will say this, though. I am happy we actually got a cameo from Bellwether. That I was actually happy about. The fact that she sunk into her own fucking wool that she made furniture out of. I fucking love that. I could not get over that. I'm happy we actually got some clips of her in this. That made me so fucking happy. Because she's actually like a really fun villain. But I also liked Paubert. Honestly, I liked Paubert and Gary. I thought they were great. Nibbles I thought was okay, though. Like, I thought Nibbles was okay. Like, what did you think of, like, I guess our sidekick character / villain? Like, what did you think of them? Nibbles was alright.
They were fine.
What about Gary and, like, the Lynxes? What did you think of them?
More remember of for the animation than anything that they did was as a character.
I know. I was just curious. I actually liked both characters. Like, I thought Gary was interesting. I just wish she was included a bit more in the movie, but that's just personally me. Paulbert, I feel like he shouldn't have been a villain. I know why they were trying to do it, because they kind of did the same thing with Bellwether kind of deal. But I don't feel like Paulbert should have been a villain. I feel like he should have just been a misunderstood character. Because I'm not going to lie, the backstabbing, I'm going to get into spoilers with this, but it's kind of obvious because this has been out for like 2 months now. But if you still haven't seen Zootopia 2... please go watch it before I end up spoiling y'all. I don't like the idea of Paubert being a villain, though. I feel like he should have just been a misunderstood character and left at that. I don't feel like he needed to do that. What do you think? Like, do you think they could have just not had him be a villain at all? Because I feel like that would have been a better idea.
Maybe it would have probably made the movie less cliched. I don't know.
Because personally, to me, I did not like that he became a villain after. I was so mad. Because I know it's Andy Samberg that played him. Here's the thing. Do I think it's interesting that Andy Samberg actually played a villain character for once? Yes. I thought that was interesting. Do I feel like he could have done that as Paubert? No. You could have made a different character be a villain, or you could have had the dad be the only villain. But you had the son apparently involved in it, and it's like, Paubert, you could have literally done so much better. Like, you could have literally done better. You could have been better than your dad. That's something I will say about Paubert being a villain. I don't like him being a villain. I feel like they could have done without that. But that's just personally me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I also liked Gary in this. I've already mentioned it before. I'm repeating myself.
Yeah, you are.
Other than that, I think this is a pretty good, solid movie. Honestly, like, I thought it was pretty solid. What do you think?
It's fine.
Okay. Anyway, you want to give our ratings and be done?
Yep.
I personally give Zootopia 2. Honestly, I'm going to give it an 8. I think it's a lot better than the first movie. I feel like the world building is also, like, really good. Now, this does make me curious, though, if they're going to make a third movie and make it about birds, and then maybe eventually they'll make a fourth one and be like, what if humans were in this world, too? I'm curious to see where it's going to go from here. I do want to see another movie. But if they're going to do that and make it about birds, let's go in a way that's not crazy. You know what I mean? Do you think a sequel's
yes, they already confirmed it.
Wait, they actually did? A third one?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
They're gonna confirm it's gonna be about birds, yeah.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Hold on.
There was an ending credit sequence that was literally like a feather or something.
I'm excited for a third movie. It says it could be a potential release around 2028, 2030. Please let us have one about birds. Please. I will be excited to have a movie about birds. Give us that.
I would give it a 5.5.
Okay, well, I can agree with you on that one. But I personally liked it. It's not just because I'm a furry, okay? So get that out of your head, people. But yeah, I think that's a good place to stop for our first podcast of season 7. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
It is almost an hour. Wait, no, actually, it's almost 45 minutes.
We gotta go to bed.
I know, we definitely gotta go to bed. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we do have plans for another double... Is it called a duology or a double sequel or double feature?
Duology.
We do have plans for another duology that we're going to do soon. So keep an eye out for that. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. And as always, I'm Mari.
I'm Jay.
And we're out. Bye, guys.